Hi, I'm Kathryn Williamson, and I'm part of Astronomers for Planet Earth. I help with the Web Resources Working Group. Today, I'm going to talk about engaging students and teachers in climate learning and action, inspired by the phrase, "There is no planet B." So many of us who are astronomy educators know that planetary science teaches us a lot about home. We can teach students about the runaway greenhouse effect on Venus. We can learn about dust storms on Mars and how Mars's atmosphere became so thin. And we really learned that Earth is special. It has everything we need to thrive. And Venus and Mars are really not habitable for any length of time for us. And furthermore, as we learn about planets that are orbiting other stars, even if they are Earth-like, they are too far away for us to colonize or inhabit in any amount of reasonable time. Really, Earth is all we have. There is no planet B. There is no second place we could go if, for some reason, Earth became uninhabitable to us. There's no lifeboat. We have to take care of our own planet, and we have to work together. And climate change is making that resoundingly apparent. And we have to talk about that and empower our students to really learn to identify themselves as Earthlings and value what we have here. So I am going to just share a little bit about my experiences doing this in West Virginia, trying some things over the last few years while I was a professor at West Virginia University. And just for context, West Virginia is in the Appalachian region of the United States. And I put planet Earth here because it's important to remember that. West Virginia is traditionally a coal community. There are a lot of coal mines, coal mining communities, and an extractive history. So a lot of people in the state who do rely on fossil fuels for work. So talking about climate change, I wanted to be really sensitive to that culture and make sure that I was respectful of the long history of students, families putting food on the table because of fossil fuels. So when I thought about how to approach this with students, I really thought about Kathryn Hayhoe. She is a climate scientist, and she has a TED Talk on that says that the most important thing you can do to fight climate change is to talk about it. So I encourage everyone to check out her TED Talk. It's available online and on YouTube. So this inspired me to really break down the barriers of the culture of West Virginia and just talk about climate change and move towards that sense of empowerment that we can find solutions. So one thing I did is a student book club. It was a one-semester seminar, and students read 3 books that related to climate change in somehow. The 2-Mile Time Machine by Richard Alley, Earth in Human Hands by David Grinspoon, and Renewable by Eileen Flanagan. I had 7 students in this book club, and they were inspired to create something that could live on beyond our course. We settled on creating a podcast called the WVU Climate Conversations podcast. So each student took an episode, hosted an episode with a guest who represented a wide range of expertise. We had living sustainably in the dorms, we had how to talk about climate change and politics, how to look back into history and understand how droughts and famines have affected people, and looking at science, some of the physics of climate change solutions. So this was very empowering, and students were really at the helm of it. And the podcast now lives on years after the course and can be downloaded and listened to on all major platforms. So really helping to push the conversation forward. In 2020, in February, before lockdown, we had a group of faculty and students do a climate education day at the West Virginia State Capitol. So students were not lobbying for a particular bill or policy. They were simply telling legislators about the climate change research and education efforts from our campus, in very engaging ways with activities that show sort of the preciousness of our resources and how climate change works and how it's affecting us. So some of the short engagement activities that included were a greenhouse effect illustration with an infrared camera that we brought. We used cabbage juice as a pH indicator and blew bubbles into it to show how the color or the pH changed with carbon dioxide or ocean acidification. A hand boiler, which is a simple device you can get online for very affordable, to show sea level rise, and some of the opinions of the people in our region that are shown from research like the Yale climate opinion maps. Another project where we've engaged teachers over a sustained period of time is the West Virginia Climate Change Teacher Professional Development Project, or WVCCPD. So we started this project with a grant from the West Virginia Space Grant Consortium about 4 years ago, and since then we've engaged over 100 educators in at least one event, such as a climate networking session or an entire course where teachers could earn continuing education units. That course is divided into 3 parts: physical and social science, communication and youth voice, and then moving into action, where teachers have to engage their students in a climate lesson plan. In the past 2 years of the WVCCPD project, we've also hosted a public service announcement competition where West Virginia students and teachers are invited to submit short video and audio clips. We select winners and give monetary awards to the winners, and then pay for the submissions to be played on news and media outlets around the state. We estimate that student-produced videos were shown to an estimated 40,000 West Virginians. So very exciting, and the students were receiving a lot of accolades from their school, a lot of pride, and some were even invited onto local news channels, all with positive response. So I hope that these examples offer concrete ideas for others wanting to engage in astronomy inspired climate change education and outreach with students and teachers and their communities. And if you would like to learn more and join us in this sort of grassroots effort, please join Astronomers for Planet Earth, which really embodies this idea that there is no planet B and we can all come together to figure this out. So thank you very much. Please reach out to me. Again, my name is Kathryn Williamson, and I would be happy to chat.